radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke Radio for the masses. Yeah, how you doing? Today's Wednesday, October 28th, 2020. Yeah, it is. 302 days into the new year, only 64 days left. How did we get here? We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, man. It's going to be a great night. Really looking forward to the show tonight. Because tonight is FADERNIGHT. With you telling us your favorite ghost stories. Now, I want you to take a look. Well, it depends. If you're watching the video, I want you to take a look at what is next to me here in the studio. Here is a pile of books. That is a pile of books. What is that, 2 feet? 2 feet of books? Just randomly grabbed stuff out of the vault here and stacked it up. I'm going to be giving these away tonight on the show. Okay? And how do you get one of these books? And they're all good. How do you get one of these books? You call in tonight and you share your favorite ghost story. That's all you got to do. Just make it good. All right? There ain't no freebies. And I reserve the right to say denied. There it is. All right? I'm not going to go down and read every title here, but that's a nice stack. And I know what you're doing. You're zooming in. I wonder what's good. Oh man, I want that. It's random. I'm just gonna be shipping these. That's it. 50 calls. Here's 50 books. Put these in envelopes. Here's the address. Go. All right. But there it is. There it is. Right there. Some of them are signed, by the way. I did notice that. Oh, man. Look at that. The Hynek UFO report right there. Look at that. Jesse James and the Lost Templar Treasure. Look at that. The Bilderberg Group. Whoa, ho, ho. Right? Billy Carson, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets right there. Phantom Messages. Yeah, pretty cool. The Rosicrucian America. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wow. An Atheist in Heaven. Oh, there's a couple of DVDs that got stuck in there. I don't know what those are. The CIA's UFO Papers. The Occult I Ching. This is, oh, man. The Murder of Moses. Right there. I thought I saw something in here. The energies of crop circles. That's pretty cool. I thought I saw, maybe it was in another pile of books. Oh, Adventures with Crystal Skulls. Right there. All right. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to open up the phone lines at the bottom of the hour. It's going to be a great show. Tomorrow night, it's going down right here. It's our 7th annual Shaw Halloween special event with Shaw the Loon Witch. I have no idea how many calls she has taken over the years per show, but I know a couple of years it racked up to probably around, oh man, it was like 20, 80 or 100 calls. Crazy. I just don't know how she does it. So that is tomorrow night. Shaw the Loon Witch here doing your readings. It's just amazing what she does. So that's tomorrow night, our 7th annual Shaw Halloween special event. Now, this weekend, which for me, this actually starts tomorrow. Today's October 28th. Tomorrow's October 29th. And October 29th through November 1st, the Dark Zone is inviting you to go and board the Queen Mary for a haunted weekend with the Queen. Of course, I'm going to be there Friday night. So you want to get registered now. I believe tonight they're doing a free preview. They're doing that. Might be going down now. Yeah, it's the show tonight. If you want to jump over and check out the free preview, you can. But sign up through our links that we have. We've got special links over at jimmychurchradio.com. We've got them throughout social media. They're in Twitter. They're on all of our Facebook pages. You can go and register now. It's also in the link right below us in the description box right there on YouTube. And you can click. Now, when you head over and get registered from that link, use the promo code Jimmy for another special discount. All right? Doesn't get any better than that. But that's it. Halloween is here, right? Tonight, our favorite Fader night of the year is when you guys call in with your ghost stories and we give away books, and we're doing it again this year. There it is. There's the pile. And can I confess? I've got like 8 more piles like this. At least. At least. At least. At least. We need to do this more than once a year to get these books out to you so everybody can read them. Okay? Now, everybody wants their own crystal skull. Here's a crystal skull book right here, Adventures with Crystal Skulls. Right here. You want your crystal skull. I know you do. All right? So go and visit Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com and get your crystal skull. Use the promo code Jimmy, 10% off of your order today. Go and do it. The links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. And, yeah, follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. And you know what is great? If you go over and follow me on JChurchRadio, at JChurchRadio, and you can do that. The links are everywhere to just go and do it. And go over to our site and follow all of our social media there. But then hashtag F2B is the sandbox. And then once you get inside there and you're hanging out with the show, you can read tweets like this, where Eric the Awakening Man, favorite thing to do in Twitter is post videos of balloons, right? And see who will bite on the UFO question. It's hilarious. It's great to see Eric post all of the balloon video pics. So you can go and check that out. It's his hobby. And today was just awesome with that. He does such a good job. Thank you for that, Eric. And, man, Eric got the Lakers and the Dodgers as world champions in 2 weeks. Wow. Congratulations. I know he is just a happy guy right now. You know what I'm going to do, Eric, the next time that I see you? I'm going to give you an autographed Kobe Bryant basketball. Yeah, I'm going to give. I have one, and you know what? You need to have this basketball That's how much I like Eric. And, all right, Eric. And then that way, see, I give him the Kobe basketball. And he can put it in his house. He can put it on display, and there it is. But then every time he looks at it, he's got to remember that for life, I get to give him grief over balloons and birds in his UFO videos. There you go. All right. Let's get this show cracking. Let's get this thing moving forward. Breaking news right now. Scientists are warning that despite previous calculations to the contrary, the 300-meter asteroid Apophis could potentially strike the Earth in 2068 after recent shifts in its trajectory with apocalyptic consequences. Named after the Egyptian god of chaos, the potential planet-killing asteroid 99942 Apophis was observed by Dave Tholen and his team at the Subaru telescope in Hawaii. Now, Tholen and his team now have noticed that the orbit of the asteroid has shifted over the past 16 years as a result of the Yarkovsky effect. That's not a chess move, by the way. Possibly shifting it into a collision course with the Earth in 48 years. The Yarkovsky effect describes how trace amounts of radiation linking from the object can alter its trajectory, but ever so slightly. Now, honestly, you can forget about 2068 when it comes to Apophis, because on Friday, the 13th of April, 2029, are you ready? Apophis will become visible to the naked eye on Friday the 13th. As it passes within the belt of communication satellites orbiting the Earth. You think there's chaos then? It's going to happen in 2029. Apophis. Now, yesterday, General John Raymond, the military's chief of Space Force operations, said that the Space Force aims to celebrate its first birthday on December 20th by swearing in a newly arrived astronaut on the International Space Station as a member of its Space Force on the ISS. For now, he says the Space Force is focused on ensuring the U.S. maintains a competitive advantage in space and that all other branches of the military have access to those capabilities without disruption. And he went further. He did. General Raymond continues with this comment about space. Quote, "You have to treat it as a war-fighting domain. We haven't had the partnerships in space because in the past, we don't really need to. It was a benign, peaceful domain, and there wasn't a threat. That's not the case today. And we're hard at work at developing those partnerships." End quote. Holy crap. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today. Joaquin Phoenix is 46. Black Oak, Arkansas founding member Ricky Lee Risky Reynolds today is 72. Our dead guy's birthday today is Charlie Daniels. 1936 to 2020, died at the age of 83. Charlie was a singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. He was best known for his #1 country hit, "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." Now, I'm going to say I knew every word to that song. Much of his output, including all but one of his 8 Billboard Hot 100 charting singles, was credited not to him, but to the Charlie Daniels Band. That's right. Daniels died on July 6th, 2020, at the age of 83 at Summit Medical Center in Nashville. On this day in history, OTD. It went down in 1962. Everybody took a deep sigh of relief when Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev orders the withdrawal of missiles from Cuba, ending the Cuban Missile Crisis. Fate or fact? Now, I'm just going to say it. Fader facts around here are unbelievable, but they're all vetted and they are all facts. This next Fader fact may be the king of them all. I don't know how I'm going to top it tomorrow. I will, though. Don't worry about it. The prairie dog. The prairie dog has a language, and it is complex. They don't just have a call for danger. No. Their calls differentiate human, hawk, domesticated dog, coyote, whatever. And they also specify size and color. They can communicate, quote, "Here comes the short human in the yellow," or "the tall human in blue," to each other. And that is your Fader fact. You can't top that. You cannot top that. What a great night. Tonight's Fader night with you calling in, telling us your favorite ghost stories. I've got a huge pile of books behind me. Every cool ghost story tonight gets a book from this pile. All right. So get ready. Just bring it. This is your moment to shine, right? It's Halloween. Let's have fun tonight. Tomorrow night is our 7th annual Shaw Halloween special. All right. Let me hit this River Moon coffee. Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels. You guys are funny. Yeah. He was amazing. Dude, what a great band. That's a nice gift or payoff, depending on how you look at it, the Kobe Bryant basketball. I know. It's both. It's both. All right. Let me hit this River Moon coffee. rivermooncoffee.com. rivermooncoffee.com. Yeah. I like my coffee, Doc. Right now, I want to talk the multiverse. Parallel worlds. Alternate realities. Living in a simulation. These are terms that are used just about every day in the mainstream of science, the fringe, and the media. Here we are on October 28th, 2020, and the world I'm living in has nothing to do with the past or what I thought was real. Remember the quote from my yearbook back in 1978? My friend Steve wrote, quote, "Jimmy, always remember, the world is not what it seems," end quote. And although I've never forgotten those words, and in most ways I've lived by them for almost 40 years, I honestly didn't think it would become my reality, our reality. I always considered those words a warning, or as a way to be careful as you waded through the years of life. But here we are. That's right. We definitely find ourselves living in bizarro world. Today, once again, I found myself cruising around the world's news sites, spending a little time on social media, getting things done. And it doesn't matter where you go or what you read from any part of the planet, every country is spinning out of control. The things are just getting, weirder, if that's a word. I realize that for most of you, the focus is on us because we live here. And yes, this country, the United States, is in a very strange place right now. It's truly like walking through the video game Silent Hill. Totally unrecognizable, totally foreign, and it's like a bad dream. But unfortunately, it's the same for everyone else on the planet. I know it, you know it, and the entire planet knows it. We officially live in Crazy Town, formerly known as Earth. What I do, and what I've always done, is play the part of the observer. I sit back, I take notes, and I think. You see, from where I'm sitting, right here, I can have multiple sources up on different screens. And I can view the world from any perspective. And I have to say, everyone has taken the bait. Right now, there are no safe spaces. There is no place you can go to get away from the madness. Because right now, it's truly global. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking to yourself, you're saying, Jimmy, what are you talking about specifically? Help us out, man. Are you talking about COVID? Are you talking about the economy? Are you talking about wars? Talking about racism? You talking about the election? Russia, China, Armenia, Iran, the weather, the Supreme Court? What are you talking about? You talking about the election? What? Fake news? The divided country? Censorship? Riots? Social media? What are you talking about, man? Well, the answer is yes. That's what I'm talking about. If you thought I was talking about just the United States, you would be wrong. You see, every country on the planet is dealing with these same issues and 1,000 more, all at the same time, just like us. Now, without going into complete details on the matter, that would take up a month's worth of shows, by the way, but here is the question. How much of this stuff is made up? As in, not real. Now, I'm not going to say COVID is made up. Of course not. It is certainly real. That's not where I'm going. But you have to ask yourself this. Which side of the story are you on? What reality are you putting your trust in? That's it. You can apply that same modality to anything. Anything that I just said. Any of it. Anything. What side are you on? It's really simple. What side are you on with the economy? Is it the New World Order? Is it stupidity? Is it Republicans? Is it Democrats? Is it religious? Is it China? Is it Russia? It's crazy. What side are you on with racism or the election? Right? What side are you on with our relationship with China? Or Russia or any world government? The weather, right? The Supreme Court. What went down there? For me, I'm just an observer. But this stuff is global. Stuff is global. Fake news. It's crazy town. The divided country. All countries are divided right now. You think they're rioting in Philly and Portland? They're rioting just about in every capital. Stuff has gone down in Moscow, man. It's crazy. Have you seen Belarus? Have you seen France? Have you seen what's going on in Central and South America right now? It's crazy. It's crazy. Right now, you can go to the 4 biggest media sites on the planet. I'm talking about RT, CNN, Fox, and the BBC. And get 4 completely different views of the world. They are all playing us. And then, after you do that, and you may not even be on the same page of any of those sites, just jump on social media, any of it. and you'll get an additional alternate reality. It's crazy. Over the last week, I saw 2 posts in social media, 24 hours apart. And upon reading them, I realized that they were probably written by the same person or group. They were virtually identical. One was pro-Trump, one was pro-Biden, or anti, depends on how you flip them. It doesn't matter, but you get what I'm saying. And I took the time to click on the accounts for each post. And on both of those accounts were other posts about vaccines and COVID and the election in China and Russia and riots and racism and the economy. They both had posts with virtually the same dates and times, but with the opposite messages. Straight down the timeline, post for post, 2 different accounts, 2 opposing views. This is done with serious intention, done to cause a divided nation. This is done in the same room, probably by the same person, playing with the emotions of both sides at the same time. I was like, what? The whole world right now is erupting just like the United States is right now. And you have to ask yourself, if these same mind games are going on locally around the planet, are they happening everywhere? And the answer clearly is yes. Now, for me, this was just a random discovery that I stumbled upon. But if it's that easy for me to uncover, why doesn't everybody do it? And the answer to that question is an easy one. There's just too much going on at any time on social media. And just clicking on specific accounts and comparing them to others post for post is just too much work for anybody to do or think about. And I get it. And so does whoever is creating the illusion. The creation of Bizarro World has been successful. Mission complete. Seriously. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Tonight is Fader Night. Open lines all night long. But tonight is our Halloween Fader Night. And that tradition is you call me with your favorite ghost stories. That's all you got to do. We're going to do that all night long. And behind me is a stack of books that we're going to be giving away tonight. You give me your ghost story, you get a book. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. The call-in number is 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. I'll be right back with your ghost stories after this short break. Stay with me.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from Rivermoon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all Rivermoon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRARadio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. This Halloween, the Dark Zone invites you to spend 4 haunted nights with the Queen, October 29th through November 1st. Virtually board the most famous ghost ship in the world. Get your boarding pass now because you'll get to join me, Jimmy Church, on Friday evening when I go ghost hunting. Live, when anything could happen and probably will. And here's the deal. For just $19.99, you get virtual access to the entire Queen Mary, 24-hour surveillance of the most haunted rooms, interaction with your favorite paranormal investigators, very special celebrity guests including Kane Hodder, that's Jason from Friday the 13th, and Chad Lindbergh of the TV series Supernatural. Musical guests including Filter and Beasto Blanco. There will be a costume contest and a Day of the Dead celebration. Halloween is not canceled. For your boarding pass and info, just click on the Dark Zone banner at jimmychurchradio.com and throughout our social media. When you click on that link, just use the promo code Jimmy for a special discount. That's right. You are invited to spend 4 nights of Halloween with the Queen.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight is FADERNIGHT. It's you sharing your ghost stories with us. Every ghost story gets a book. Yeah, man. That's a pretty good stack of books right there. That's right. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. It's going to be a busy night on the phones, and maybe I might indulge myself and tell a story or two my own self. I just might do that. We'll see if I can squeeze that in. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio, and hashtag F2B is the sandbox, and you can hang out right there in real time during the show, and hashtag F2BQ is Fade to Black questions. We have 2 chat rooms open, one at Spreaker, of course, one over at KGRA The Planet. Hello to everybody on YouTube, where else? Facebook. Hello to everybody on Facebook, and, of course, the Bunker Cam. And there you go. Everybody that's watching on the Bunker Cam, one way or another, can see the stack of books behind me. I'm being very, very serious about this. I can't wait for all of you to get one of these books right here. Okay? All right. Let's share the knowledge. You guys ready? I'm ready. Let's get straight to it. Let's see who is up first. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. 3, 2.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. You got to get ready, man.
I'm ready.
Who's this?
My name is John.
What's your name?
John Wall.
Your name's
John.
Okay, John.
Wall.
That's good enough, John. Where are you calling from?
Casper, Wyoming.
Why?
I'm going to give you a Wyoming.
Right on, man. You guys got snow up there yet? It's fall. It's Halloween.
Oh yeah, we got. Yeah, we got about 16 inches up on the mountain.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Well, it's the season. It's the season. You know, when the leaves are turning, it's starting to get cold outside. It's fall. It's Halloween, and it's time for ghost stories, right?
Absolutely.
What have you got for us tonight, John?
I got a ghost story from when I was a kid. I grew up here in Wyoming. I was born and raised in Rawlins, Wyoming. My father was a penitentiary guard at the Frontier Prison in Rawlins, Wyoming.
Okay.
Our house that I was raised in was the original warden's house before the warden's house was built that is there now. So this house, when I was a little kid, when I was like 5 years old, we did not know that this house was haunted. So one night, when I was probably about 5 years old, me and my brother, we slept in the basement. We were like the basement kids, you know. So I had all my stuffed animals with me. I was like, the ones that I couldn't put under my arms, I put at the end of the bed, you know.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I'm getting all happy. So my mom kissed me goodnight and said, all right, you guys, you have a good night. We go to bed. And as soon as I turn off the light, I was like, next thing I know, I felt something walking up the end of my bed. Oh, I thought it was my cat. So I opened up my eyes and I saw these red eyes looking at me. And I said, what the heck is that? So I reached over and I turned on the freaking light, and it was my sock monkey. It was alive, and it had pointy teeth, and it was growling at me, and I screamed, and I slammed that sock monkey upside the head, and went running upstairs screaming, Mommy, Mommy, my sock monkey's alive. What? I said, Mommy, Mommy, my sock monkey's alive. She said, no. So we go back downstairs, and there, in the middle of the bed, was my sock monkey, laying in the middle of my bed, whereas it was at the end of my bed when I went to bed. But when we went down there, it was in the middle of my bed, and there was a red stain on the wall where I slammed it up against the wall, and there was a red stain on the side of that sock monkey's head. So the next morning, we get up, and my big sister takes me out, and we take it out to the garbage can, and we burn that thing. And as we burned it, a big flame came out of the garbage can, and you heard a rah, as if a demon was leaving that sock monkey. And it was like, to that day, I've never owned another sock monkey again. Ever.
Yeah. Sock monkeys aren't allowed in our house either. John, that's a great story, man. That is a great story, and thank you for sharing that. Now, this is what you have to do to get one of these books. Email me, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com with your phone number in the email so that I know it's you, and then I need your address. Fair enough?
Okay. Sounds like a deal.
Have a great night, man. A great story. Great story.
Jimmy Church at live.com?
Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
sounds
John.
good. Thank you.
That's a great story right there. That's a great story. And yeah, see, that's the point. Tell us your ghost story. That's it. That's how you get it done. I'm putting calls on hold, so they're listening to me right now. And then you're going to go to the hold music. But you just stay right there, and we will get to everybody in order. And, yeah, there you go. Book number 1 down. Do I just take it from the top? Do I just take it from the top and see how it shrinks? From what to the... Let's keep this going. That was John from Wyoming. Let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, it's Heather from Mansfield.
Hey, Heather from Mansfield. How are you tonight? Happy Halloween.
I'm great. Yeah, happy Halloween.
You know what to do.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
I'm sorry. There was like I thought I got cut off.
No, you're listening to me on the radio. So you need to turn me down in the background.
No, I have turned it off. I turned it off way before you started talking.
Okay, I'm just making
I
sure.
don't know what happened. There was like a weird thing. It's okay. It's
are
cool.
you- are
Maybe
you-
it's a Halloween ghost through the phone line.
I know, right? Are you ready for Halloween?
I am.
Are you
I
guys
am.
going to have trick-or-treaters there in Mansfield, Ohio?
They delayed it to Saturday because of the rain.
It is Halloween is Saturday. What do you mean?
Well, in Mansfield, they always do it the Thursday before. Always. It's always the Thursday before Halloween.
What kind of rule is that?
I know. Well, they don't want to do it on Halloween because people have plans and I don't know, whatever. But yeah, usually it's always the Thursday before Halloween, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow here. So
You need
they changed it to Saturday.
You need to move. You need to move.
Well,
you can't have Halloween
yeah, well,
restrictions.
You know what? You're going to say that again after I tell my story.
Okay. All right. Let's go, Heather. What have you got?
Well, I have several, but I decided to go with the most recent since it's current. The house I live in right now. We bought this house about 4 years ago, my husband and I, and it's a 1950s house, nothing spectacular. But when we moved in, we both had experiences, but neither told the other one about it. And it took a while for us to both kind of come forward and go, wait, did you just see that? But it's basically several things. You'll hear a knocking on the walls. Sometimes it's a boom. Sometimes it's a knock. Sometimes you're just in a room and you feel like somebody's behind you and you turn around and there's nobody there. But the one that most of our friends and each other and the kids have all agreed on is when you're sitting outside in our pavilion area, you can see into the kitchen through the windows. And we have a light that's right by the refrigerator. And it doesn't matter who it is, when you're sitting out there, if somebody walks in front of the refrigerator, they cast a shadow with that light. And constantly people will see somebody moving across the refrigerator, but everybody's outside. There's no one in the house. You see it all the time. You either see it in your peripheral, or sometimes you can even be looking at it and you just see a shadow cast across there, like someone's moving right across. And of course, freaked us out. We finally eventually told each other, and we were pretty freaked out because it was scary. And then the cats would like stare at the ceiling or stare behind you or stare above your head, and you look at them going, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? And we were freaked out enough that, we're not super religious, more spiritual than religious, but he ended up contacting a childhood pastor of his, and he came and blessed the house. And then everything stopped, and we didn't see anything, hear anything, feel anything. We thought, okay, good, we're done, And then a few months later, it started right back up again. And we've kind of just live with it now because you don't feel like an evil with it. It's just kind of like they're there. you know, and so we just live with it, and it happens all the time.
So what do you do? What do you do? Do you have guests over at the house? By the way, that's a great story, but yours happens to be true. But what do you do?
Right.
Do you guys?
I mean, there's no way to verify it unless I had some ghost hunters come here. But I mean, we've had multiple guests see that or feel something in the house, but there's nothing verifiable about it, I guess you could say.
Have you talked to your neighbors? You know, I mean, did
Well,
Charlie Manson used to live there?
I did some research on the house. The plot of land where we're sitting on used to be a horse farm. And the house in front of us that faces the main road is a huge 3-story old farmhouse built in the 1800s.
Right.
The whole area was a horse farm, and they eventually sold off all the plots of land to start this new housing development.
Right.
Which our house is very strange because we're the only house in the center of this giant block. Our backyard has like 20 backyards that face us, and our driveway is like super long. Like you wouldn't even see our house. It's very odd. We're like in the center of the lot with a long driveway in a city area. But basically what happened was when they started to shut down the farm, they sold off the plots of land around the area, and then they ended up building the house that we live in the middle of the farm for their parents who were aging. The kids took over the farm, and then they built the house for their parents. And then they built a couple of the houses that are in front of us for, other relatives. But what was interesting about the story that I read about the history of the house was that the woman who ran the farm was, I can't remember if she was like a volunteer or she just had like a sympathy for some of the prisoners at the penitentiary, which, is famous. You've heard, it's where Shawshank was filmed. And they would do like a work release and come to the farm, and work with the horses and do work around the farm. And she like kind of fell in love with a lot of these regular guys and had them they'd stay over and like in this basement, as a matter of fact, there were murals that were painted by the prisoners on the walls that were painted over. So I'm just speculating at this point, but my theory is that they're not evil spirits, but they're spirits of troubled people who loved this place and came here to rest and aren't leaving, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that place is haunted. You got a haunted house. That's great. That's great. If you don't
but
feel...
it's not a bad thing.
No,
it's not like they're not trying to hurt anybody. They just kind of like it here.
Right.
They like hanging out with us.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Seriously, you get, you have guests over,
awesome.
It's movie night.
Yeah,
you guys are going
to passing across the window. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Playing some board games and just keep the refrigerator in everybody's view. Heather, enjoy your night. You know what to do,
hey,
okay?
You too, Jimmy.
Shoot me an email with your phone number in it with your address, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you.
Maybe once you have my address, you can look it up and find out the history.
That's
funny. I just snorted on live TV, live radio.
Yeah, you did. Straight up snorted. But you've got it. See, that's what I do. I stalk all of my listeners. I'll talk to you.
I meant like the history of the house.
That too.
Really? All right.
That too.
Hey,
I'll talk to you.
Have a great night, Jimmy. Thanks.
You too.
Okay.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween. All right. She's got a haunted house. That house is 100% haunted. The Shawshank Redemption House, Mansfield, Ohio. That's just crazy to me. That's just nuts. I can't tell you how many times on this show where somebody has brought up, well, we live near, the prison from Shawshank Redemption. I mean, how many times has that happened on Fade to Black? All right. Let's see who we have up next here. It's your calls. It is Fader Night. It is your ghost stories all night long here on Faded Black. I'm giving away a stack of books that is behind me, and that call is not picking up. So let's go to this one. Let's see if this one picks up. Fade to Black. And when I pull you up like this one, just be ready to go. Okay? That's all you got to do. Just be ready to go as soon as you hear my voice. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, my name's Ricky.
Hi, Ricky. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from North Dakota.
North Dakota? How you doing up there?
Pretty cold.
It's Halloween, though. I mean, it kind of goes with the territory.
Not the snow, though.
Yeah.
Not the snow.
Right on, Ricky. Happy Halloween. Well, you know what the deal is. Bring a good ghost story, you get a book from the vault. So what have you got for us tonight, Ricky?
All right, I got my mom's ghost story. She grew up in a haunted house in Klamath Falls, Oregon in the 1980s.
Perfect.
All right, so my mom, she was like 14 or 15, I think. And this must have been like 1982. Her and her mom and her grandma were renters, and they moved around a lot, like once every, I don't know, 10 or 12 months, I think, like a couple times a year sometimes. And so she lived in a lot of different houses, and they moved into this one house, and they were living there for a couple months, and my grandma kept telling my mom that she would see a ghost in the hallway. And the way that the house was set up, it was like a small, like normal house where it's like single level, 3 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen attached to the living room. And there was a TV on one wall and then a couch on the other wall. And the couch faced down the hallway where the bedrooms were. And my grandma would sit on the couch, and her mom, my great-grandma, my mom's grandma, would walk down the hallway and go to the bathroom. And my grandma would see what she said was a lady who was all white with long blonde hair, and she would follow appear out of nowhere and follow my great-grandma down the hall until she turned into the bathroom, and then the ghost would turn into the wall. And she said she would see that like once a week.
And
but my mom.
Oh, go ahead.
But my mom had never seen the ghost up until to this point. This was like 2 months in that they had been living there.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so what happened?
And so then my mom didn't really believe my grandma because she was like 14, and she said she wasn't really home that much. She was kind of with her friends. She wasn't a very good 14-year-old, and she kind of just played it off. But I don't know how she did that. I would be freaking out.
Right.
But so my uncle, my mom's brother, came to visit. He was older and had moved out by this point. And he came to visit them in the new house and stay for the weekend. This was like 2 or 3 months after they had been living there. And they were sitting in the living room, and on the back of the house was like a porch. And they were all sitting there just like visiting. And there was a porch and like a screen door that went onto the porch. And my uncle was looking outside, and all of a sudden my mom said the hair stood up on his arms, all the color left his face, and he stood up and he said, "I just saw a ghost on the patio." My mom's like, "What? You saw it too? Oh my God, it's real." My grandma looks at my mom and said, I told you there was a ghost here." And my great-grandma, who never ever actually saw the ghost, but would always follow her to the bathroom for some reason.
Right.
She said, "You guys are all crazy. you guys think you're seeing ghosts, you're not seeing anything. But that confirmed to my mom that it was real because no one had told my uncle about the ghost. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just freaks out, stands up, says, I saw a ghost.
That's an awesome ghost story, Ricky. That's an awesome
It's not
ghost
over
story.
yet.
Oh, it's not over? Okay, I've got
No.
1 minute. I've got 1 minute before the break.
Okay.
So go.
Okay. So then my mom, like a month later, she was sleeping, and this is the only time she saw it. She was dead sleeping, and all of a sudden she said she woke up out of her sleep, just like from sleeping to instantly awakened, like cognizant of what's going on, like no grogginess. And floating above her bed was the ghost, the lady, all white, long blonde hair, and she said she was smiling at her. So it's like the ghost was standing in the middle of the bed, like as if it could move through the bed with it's a ghost. So it's like standing in the middle of the bed, waist up, staring down at my mom, smiling at her. And then my mom like put her hands on her eyes and then pulled them away, and it was gone.
That's amazing. And let me ask you really quick before I let you go, Ricky. Was that the only house that was haunted? Was that the only ghost story that your mom ever told you?
Yeah, that's the only house that was ever haunted.
Yeah, that's why they moved. That's why they moved. Hey, Ricky, all you have to do is email me, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Write that down, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Shoot me an email with your address and your phone number, right? So I know that it's you, okay? And you got yourself a book, man, and happy Halloween.
All right, thanks. Happy Halloween, Jimmy.
That's a great phone call. Thank you so much, Ricky. And Eric just posted up on Twitter, don't you bring that evil on me, Ricky. Oh, man. Thank you so much, Ricky. That's Ricky from North Dakota. Now, I'm going to take a quick break right here. 747 228 2051. 747 228 2051. Fader Night. Happy Halloween. Your ghost stories. Share them. Get a book. I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with me.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official FADERNIGHT by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. FADERNIGHT. Your ghost stories. Your calls. You call me. You share a ghost story. You get a free book. That's right. From the vault. Let me tell you something. The books that we have here in the bunker are the best. Are the best, man. There's no there's no filler here. There's no filler material. It's all the best. So 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Let's go straight back to the phones. Let's see who's going to scare us next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Donna.
Hey, Donna. I know you got a good ghost story.
Okay, about 20 years ago, I used to work at the Kentucky Horse Park, and I was in the housekeeping department, and I always heard all kinds of stories about it being haunted all around there. I didn't take too much stock in it. I thought maybe they were making fun, just to try to scare me. Anyway, during Christmas time, they have a thing called Southern Lights, where there's lights all around that kids can you take your car and drive around and look at all the pretty lights and all.
Right.
And in down in the basement area of the museum, they have this big model train display. It's beautiful. Anyway, one morning I was put in charge of cleaning that area and the bathrooms and all that stuff. Anyway, I was just minding my own business. I was the only person in the building, as far as I knew. And I was just vacuuming away and everything, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Donna." And I turned off the vacuum, and then I was like, what the heck? Nobody's in here. And then I tried to listen for more and didn't hear a thing. So I turned off the vacuum and walked all over that whole museum. Every nook and cranny, every little side room I could think of. I knew where every room was, and I found nothing. And that creeped me out because, I'd never had experience like that before, the whole disembodied voice kind of thing. It was clear as a bell.
Did you hear it again?
No.
Just, hey, Donna.
Hey, Donna, clear as a bell.
So that ghost knew your name.
Oh, yeah.
That's not right. I don't need. I'm going to be on the Queen Mary, Friday night. Hey, Jimmy. No, I don't need that. I don't.
Oh, I wish
that.
I was with you.
Oh.
I've seen inside of that place. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I've been there before. I remember. Oh man, I got to say the first time I was there was probably 1984, 85, 35 years ago. And, and I was there at night. And I was there for other reasons. But the Queen Mary's right there. And I just walked up and just looked at. There was nobody there. That was what was weird.
It was like in the morning before the place even opened up. And I was in there by myself in the basement area.
Yes.
So that creeped me out, and ever since then, the whole time I was working there, every time I had to go down there, I would be a little bit creeped out. I kept on hearing for the names if I could hear it again. Never did.
Never did, huh? Well, Donna, you know what to do. Shoot me an email with your phone number in it, with your address, so I know that it's you, and I'm going to send you one of these books, and it'll be my pleasure. And my honor. Thank you so much, Donna.
Thank you, and happy Halloween to everybody, and go Bookly Teppy.
Happy Halloween, Donna. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm serious, too. I don't need that disembodied voice, whatever, to call out your name. I mean, to call out your name. That's not right. I'm being serious too. If I'm down something like that, I was totally thinking about this. What if something crazy happens at the Queen Mary? What do I do? Do I write it out? Do I act tough? Do I get tough in the situation and be a man? Or do I skedaddle to my safe place? Do I get out? I don't know. I suppose I would tough it out. It depends on how freaky it is, though. That's the other thing. Depends on how freaky it is. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's going to scare us next?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Danny from the Pacific Northwest.
Hey, Danny from the Pacific Northwest. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's Fader night. It's scary ghost story night. and I need you to bring it.
Okie dokie. Well, we moved into this house when we got married and had kids, and it was in like a little new housing tract. And as our kids grew up, the other kids in the neighborhood, they were talked about there had been this old farmhouse there in the very spot where our house was. And they had decided that the house was haunted, this old farmhouse. But we didn't think anything about it. But, we find like nails and hinges in the yard and stuff like that from, digging gardens or whatever. And
hey, Danny, are you doing the dishes during this phone call?
No, my wife's feeding the dog.
Oh, okay. Hey, take me off of speaker.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, let's keep this moving along. So you found hinges and nails in the yard.
Yeah, and so one night we went to bed, and all of a sudden what happened was there was this huge crash, like there was somebody in the room right beside our bed throwing furniture around. So I jumped out of bed and ran over and turned on the light, and what we looked over by our nightstand on my wife's side of the bed, this door had come out of the nightstand and fallen on the floor all by itself. And what it was is one of those, you know how those doors have sliders on them so they don't pop up, just jump right out.
Right.
So if you pull them, this thing had come not just outside of the coffee table or the nightstand, but it had come all the way out and over those jumpers and just slammed down there like that. And it was just the weirdest thing because my wife and I, we were going to sleep when it happened, and there was no one else in the room. And so about 2 weeks later, we were late. We had gone to sleep, and we were just like dozing off. And all of a sudden, this little bitty voice, like a little demon, was at the top of our bed, and it was going, setting all of this stuff up, and like I popped right out of bed with the hair coming up on the back of my neck, and my wife did too. And we looked at each other, and I just said in my loudest voice, "Get the F out of here!" And it just stopped. And then after that, nothing ever happened. There was no one there. It was just some kind of little, like a little witchy demon or something.
Yeah, like a gremlin. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we had other experiences after that. But the way I was brought up is like if you think a ghost is around, they're not anything to play with or toy around or whatever. And you tell them, just get the heck out of here, you know. And they'll usually do that. And we had other ghosts that like floating around that house. I thought or got the sense of. But I always tell them, hey, it's like wintertime. I'm going to throw you out if you keep trying to scare us, or if you scare me or whatever. I'm throwing you out of here. And then that would calm them down, and we wouldn't have anything going on for a while after that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, Danny. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And gaining control of the situation is what you need to do, and don't be scared. But for that drawer to jump the slider stopper, you know, down at the end, you got a gremlin. You had something inside your little nightstand there, you know, little foot-tall dude pushing the drawer out. I'm just picturing it, right? Some little guy, and push that drawer out. And then he spoke to you later. That's pretty cool. That's a great story. Hey, Danny, this is what you need to do. You need to shoot me an email to jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Include your address and your phone number so I know it's you, and I'm going to send you out a free book. All right, man?
All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Good to talk to you again.
Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Great story right there. And I'm trying to think of what it was that. I think it was The Cat's Eye. Who remembers that movie, The Cat's Eye? Nobody remembers that movie, The Cat's Eye. By, I think that might have been Stephen King, and who directed it? I don't think it might have been, was that Spielberg? Who directed The Cat's Eye? It's like 3 short stories. The last one with Drew Barrymore, and I'm trying to think who her dad was. And she had the little gremlin that was living, hanging out with the mice, with the door down in the molding. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right. The Cat's Eye. That was a good movie. James Woods, right? Smoking. Had to quit smoking. Do you guys remember that movie? Love that movie. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Mike from Florida.
Hi, Mike from Florida. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. The thing about The Cat's Eye, that sounds like a scary movie, especially the idea of having to quit smoking.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Have you seen it? Have you seen The Cat's Eye?
Never seen it. Sounds scary to me.
Yeah. Get it. It's 3 short stories. Yeah. And it's an anthology. It's an anthology. But Drew Barrymore in this is like, I'm going to say 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. And she did a great job. All right. It's Scary Story Night. Happy Halloween, Mike. What have you got for us?
Thank you. Happy Halloween to you and to the FADERNIGHTs.
Right
well,
on.
My story takes place a while back. I was 19 at the time. I dated this girl whose mother lived in a 2-story home, And apparently, according to the mom, there was a girl and I think a mother had died in the house at one point. Because I'd hear, I'd come over and sometimes I'd hear, what sounded like footsteps going up and down the stairs, and my stuff would seem to get misplaced at times. And so anyway, the mother went to go to Hawaii to open up an ice cream shop. And so my girlfriend at the time and I got to stay in her house and kind of house sit for a little bit. And so there have been a number of occasions where, I'd wake up in the morning after having stayed there at night, and my stuff would get misplaced, or, my smokes and my wallet and my phone would end up in another room or downstairs, or it was very, very strange stuff was happening. I'd hear noises, and at times too, I'd hear down in the kitchen on the first floor, I'd hear like what sounded like drawers opening and closing and cabinet doors opening and closing. I'd go down there and the cabinet, doors wide open. And it would just freak me out because I was I'm a scaredy cat. What can I say? And so anyway, one of the last times that I had stayed there, I was home alone, and my girlfriend was off with her friends that night. That's a long story I won't get into, but so I heard some noises downstairs, and so I'm thinking, well, maybe it's her or whatever. Well, the house was equipped with motion detectors down on the first floor. So if you didn't forget to alarm it when you went down the stairs, the alarm would go off. So I'd go downstairs, and it happened one time where I was thinking there was a ghost in the house, and the alarm would sound off, and it freaked me out, and I'd run upstairs. And anyway, so a few nights later, I'm hearing noises again. And this time I remembered to disarm the alarm. I go downstairs, and as I approach the bottom of the stairs, I peek my head around the corner of the wall, and I look out over to the door that's connected to the garage. And the door, I kid you not, Jimmy, it swung right open really fast. It freaked me out because the garage door was closed. There was no other outside door that was accessible to the garage. The AC wasn't on. There was no draft. This is like, 12 o'clock at night. I'm hearing like some noises. And that door flung open so fast, I about freaked out and had a heart attack. I ran upstairs, and like the next day or two, I was out of there.
Right
I said
on.
no more.
Right on. Right on.
And her mother, and my girlfriend at the time used to make fun of me all the time. They would, prior to that, they would say, "Oh yeah, that must be the ghost." And then, I'd walk down the hallway or whatever, and the lights would be kind of out, and like in the bathroom, and they'd jump out and go, and scare me to death. And so I, they primed me real good. But yeah, after that incident, I said, that's it. I'm out of here. And I never went back. So,
Mike, you got yourself a book, man. That's a great story. And now what you have to do, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. That's the email. And just include your address and your phone number so I know that it's you. I've got everything logged here, right, with everybody. So just send me your address with your phone number, and I'll ship the book out to you. And your story reminds me, I'm going to tell you a ghost story. You want to hang on?
All right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is what happened. Very, it's just kind of similar, except we didn't move. Over at the house in our bedroom, in the master bedroom, there is a separate through a doorway, the dressing area, walk-in closet, shower, right, all in one big room. But the toilet is in its own little room with a door on it. You dig what I'm saying? Okay, so that's like separate.
Yep.
All right. So, but the toilet in that, now our bed at the time was the headboard. If you were lying in bed, your feet are pointing towards the wall with the bathroom door on it, right? So we could see into the walk-in. You know what I mean? Okay, so
yes,
it's in front of us. Okay, good. So Rita and I were in bed, and that toilet, its lid for the toilet seat was sticky. It was tight. It wouldn't fall down, right? To put the toilet seat down, you had to go, you know what I mean, and push it down, it wouldn't move by itself. The same thing, lifting it up, you know, it was just tight. It didn't move by itself. And, you know, over the years, you're just kind of used to that. And you know how it is. Sometimes you don't put the lid down, and sometimes I don't. It's my bathroom, whatever. But it was also sticky, you know. So anyway, the lid was always up for the most part. Well, anyway, Rita and I are in bed, and one night that toilet seat went smack and closed by itself. And Rita and I looked at each other. Obviously, it was loud. We both heard it, and we knew what it was. But there was no way that it did that by itself. And we both knew this. And we were scared. And I didn't get up. I didn't go in there and look. I didn't want to see it down. I didn't want to do it. You know, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to face it. And and I remember the next morning, I went into the bathroom and it's down, and I just picked it up, and I'm just like opening and closing. I'm like, man, this isn't right. I'm not digging this. But it never happened again. It only happened that one time. But I got to tell you, just like you know, that's it. I'm out of here. We own the house. You know, it's not like we're going anywhere. But it only happened that one time. And now that toilet was replaced after that. And now it's got one of those self-closing lids.
Nice. One of those soft close lids.
Yeah,
right?
Got one of them soft close lids. Ain't no ghost gonna mess with me. Mike, enjoy your Halloween, man. Happy Halloween. Don't forget to shoot me that email. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for not. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. That's a great phone call right there. That's Mike from Florida. And so let's see. Do I have time for one more ghost story? Can I squeeze one more in? I think I can. Let's do it right now. Turn me down in the background. Okay. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Oh, you got.
Hey, Mr. Jimmy Church. This is Chuck here from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Pennsylvania. Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Actually, things are going quite well on my end after the craziness of the first part of 2020. Karen and I are doing well, but
right on.
I got a pretty wild ghost story, I do believe, for you and the FADERNIGHT.
Right on.
So, yeah, man. So when I was in my late teens, you know, kind of like my college time, maybe early 20s, I was dating a girl. And yes, I'm telling this story about dating a girl, and my sweet Kara is sitting here. But anyway, she lived in Jersey, so we already got a problem there. But she kept, she told me the story that, you know, the area she lived was real creepy, and the house was on like some kind of an old Indian burial ground, things of that nature. I didn't really think too much of it. I was a young guy trying to date a girl. She had a child with a guy before me, and I realized, unfortunately, this guy was a jerk, pretty violent sometimes. So anyway, the few times I was over at the house, I always did get like a weird kind of a vibe, but I never saw anything. And then the one day I came over to the house, and her mom and dad were always cool with me. And this gentleman who she previously dated was there at the time. And, you know, they said that, so I nicely just kind of waited downstairs. Well, a little bit of noise and ruckus started going on where they were speaking in her bedroom. So me being the, you know, superhero that I wanted to be, I go to run up the stairs. Jimmy, swear to everything sitting here in front of my sweet Kara, just had that heart transplant. As I turned the corner to go up those stairs, I saw him get kind of picked up and pushed down the steps. The problem was there was nobody there to do that but I saw that happen.
What?
Anyway, yes, freaked me out to no end. Things kind of settled down and we talked, and she revealed more about this where she lived. It turns out it really was on some old Indian type of, and again, I don't know if it's a burial ground or what, but I do know the house was built where there was Indian of some sorts kind of a thing. And she said, yes, I have a ghost here that basically protects me.
Mm-hmm.
And I witnessed a human being get kind of picked up and pushed because this guy rolled down the steps as I was standing there. But something grabbed him, pushed him down those steps. I watched this, but nobody was there to do it.
Now, hold on, Chuck. That's a great story.
Right.
You've got your book. I'll send an extra book to Kara. Hold on. Give my best to Kara and all of that. But I got to ask you, did you try to catch him as he fell down the stairs, or did you just let him fall? Ha!
Hell no, man. I just got away and said, roly poly, man. No way.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. You're the best. Buddy. You're the best, Chuck.
All right, cool.
And happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to Kara. I want Kara to yell out FADERNIGHT right now.
All right. Ready? Hold on now. Go. Just yell out FADERNIGHT. Ready?
FADERNIGHT, Jimmy.
That's what I'm talking
about.
Did
you get it? Yeah. Listen, happy Halloween to the FADERNIGHts. Go Beckley Tepley to the FADERNIGHts. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Happy Halloween to you, Chuck and Kara. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys right here tomorrow night. And there was Kara, just had her heart transplant. Do you remember the night that went down on the show? I will never forget that. Out of the many, many years of doing this broadcast, that was one of the most special moments. Wow. It's just incredible. But that's a great ghost story right there. Let's take our break. This is Fade to Black. It's Wednesday night. It's FADERNIGHT, our annual Haunted FADERNIGHT special event with you sharing your ghost stories with me. Share a ghost story, get a book. It's that easy. 747-228-2051. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you want to be an official FADERNIGHT? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. This Halloween, the Dark Zone invites you to spend 4 haunted nights with the Queen, October 29th through November 1st. Virtually board the most famous ghost ship in the world. Get your boarding pass now because you'll get to join me, Jimmy Church, on Friday evening when I go ghost hunting. Live, when anything could happen and probably will. And here's the deal. For just $19.99, you get virtual access to the entire Queen Mary, 24-hour surveillance of the most haunted rooms, interaction with your favorite paranormal investigators, very special celebrity guests including Kane Hodder, that's Jason from Friday the 13th, and Chad Lindbergh of the TV series Supernatural. Musical guests including Filter and Beasto Blanco. There will be a costume contest and a Day of the Dead celebration. Halloween is not canceled. For your boarding pass and info, just click on the Dark Zone banner at jimmychurchradio.com and throughout our social media. When you click on that link, just use the promo code Jimmy for a special discount. That's right. You are invited to spend 4 nights of Halloween with the Queen.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com.
TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
Including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Fader Night, 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Your favorite ghost story. Share it with us. You get a book. You get a book right here from our vault. It's really that simple. Phone lines are jammed. And let's keep this going. This is great. Let's see who's up next. Who's going to scare us? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. Go back to Tepe and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
It's, Derek from Los Angeles.
Hey, Derek from Los Angeles. How are you, man?
Great. So, yeah, I used to live in a haunted house, 120-year-old Victorian. It's actually on the web. Somebody else who lived in it before me had a sighting of an old man ghost in the living room.
Was it here in Los Angeles?
It was in Torrance on Arlington Street. I think that should be enough for people to pull it up.
Yeah, right. Okay, what happened?
I mean, a whole bunch of stuff, but the best story is when I first moved in. Mom actually bought it. I broke up with the girl and moved in to get away from her because she was crazy. We all have that one in our past. So I was living in it alone for like 6 months, 9 months before she, renovated it and moved in, and had my buddy over. Well, I mean, to start off with, it had those runny glass windows, but you couldn't really see outside all that well. So it always felt like somebody was watching you, right?
Right.
So I decided my buddy was coming over. We were young, and he came over to do his laundry and hang out. So I was giving him the tour of the place, but I decided to do as scientific a test as I could because I've always liked Barbell's scientific, open-minded approach.
Right.
So I didn't tell him anything about how I felt about the house. I just gave him the tour, and about 40 minutes in, I couldn't take it anymore. So I used these exact words, trying to be as neutral as possible. So I just asked him, so did you notice anything unusual about the house? And that's all it took. He was like, yeah, man, I feel like somebody's been watching me the whole time. And I'm like, no way. That's how I feel too. And I was telling him about the bad dreams I would have if I slept in this one room under a chandelier. Like I don't know. It was weird. I've never had this before, but I had like a phobia that the chandelier was going to fall on me. and he's like, yeah, and I think those are witches' symbols on that little thing under the window. And so we're walking back in as I'm telling him all this. And I lived there for like 5 years, and I never did this again. But as we're walking in talking about how creepy the house is, the chandelier in the living room brightens twice and goes, and we looked at each other, and I go, but we'll be leaving soon, so there's absolutely no need to murder anyone. I don't know if the ghost tended to like me or what, but I never really had any problems, but it was just weird stuff. And, we had to basically host the church prayer group in order to tamp down the activity. And so like after, during Christmas holidays and stuff, when we didn't have them over every week, it would start acting up again. And then they'd come back and it would, calm down again. And another time, the only two people in the house were me and my mom, and she was across this big oak, dining room table, eyes closed, praying. So was I, resting my chin on my hands. And somebody nudged my shoulder hard enough to push my chin off of my hands, and I opened up my eyes to see who was there. Nobody there. Mom's still praying away across the table. No clue.
No way.
And it was just all kinds of stuff like that. My mom said she heard like whirring noises in the bathroom in between our rooms. We had like all kinds of bad luck. She ended up, losing the house because it was during the market downturn of real estate at the time. So she like lost everything and almost had a nervous breakdown. And, we had one guy that we basically had to not officially evict, but he was so crazy that, we had to get him out of there. And he told a bunch of stories about how he was in the Mossad and drove a tank for him and all this. And we're just like, well, okay, whatever. But then the stories I was able to verify because he was one of the guys who arrested the guy in a movie, that one with Robert De Niro, Midnight Run, I think.
So,
yeah.
That's such a great movie. Well, but being in a house where you're constantly feeling like you're being watched, that's not cool. I mean, I've never had that feeling. I've had the feeling of being watched, but I was actually being watched, right? So that but having the feeling of being watched in a house where you're alone, that's not right, man. That's haunted. That's a great story. Hey, Derek, you know what to do, man. Shoot me an email to Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com with your address and your phone number. Don't forget your phone number so I know that it's you. Okay?
Right. Got it. Thanks, bud.
I'll talk to you. Happy Halloween, Derek.
Happy Halloween.
And I think I know the house that he's talking about down there in Torrance on Arlington. Yeah, he's absolutely right. You give that part away and everybody's going to know which house it is. And 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. I remember now the call that's on hold. Just stay right there. I want to share this story. And if I've told it in the past, I apologize to those that have heard this before. I don't know that I have, though. But my grandparents, Carol, and my grandma Margaret, they own this house in Holly, Michigan. Old house. Had to have been built in the late 1800s. I'm guessing on that. Maybe it was turn of the, but I mean, the house is old. And anyway, I'm probably 5 or 6 years old, and I'm sitting in the living room with my grandpa Cal, and my grandmother was like in the kitchen messing around and in the dining room. I can see her, right? And my grandfather's over here. I'm on the couch. He's in his chair watching the TV, or maybe the TV wasn't. But anyway, the two of us are in there. And I hear this noise. And I'm looking at it, and it didn't come from my grandmother. I'm too young to understand what's going on. And then my grandfather shoots me this look, right? He kind of looks at me. And then my grandfather says, Marge. And she says from the dining room, that's our ghost, Cal. Right? And I was like, what? And I'm like, what do you mean ghost? We have a ghost. We have a ghost. And that was like the end of, that was the end of it then. But as a kid, what I remember from all of this, and I'm sure that everybody's got the same story. I'm not breaking new ground here. I'm not planting some flag. And I get that. But I remember my grandmother going, countless times after that. Oh, that's our ghost. That's our ghost. That's our ghost. If something falls over in the other room, something. That's our ghost. And that's it. My grandfather didn't even, it was just hilarious. And I think at the time, looking back and sharing this memory with you, that was my grandfather just throwing Marge, my grandmother, the signal, and that's our ghost, Cal. That's our ghost. There you go. Let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's going to scare us?
Hey, Jimmy. Doug, southwestern Montana.
Hey, Doug. We've got South Dakota tonight, Wyoming, Montana.
Well, I think I've got a good one for you. You want to listen?
Sure.
Okay. A few years back, I was working for a ranch here in southwestern Montana, and one of my coworkers was coming back to the ranch late one night after going to town for supplies, and just before he turned onto the ranch property, he had to stop for about a 10-year-old boy that had jumped the barbed wire fence and ran up to the side of his vehicle and said to the driver, my coworker, "Why did my dad do this to me? Why? Why?" And ran across the road and disappeared off into the darkness about 10:30 one night. My coworker went up to ranch security and told them what had happened just a few miles down the road, that here's this boy at 10:30 at night running across the road. And so the next morning, the ranch brought out their security plus the county sheriff from the local town,
right,
plus a helicopter, and they searched that area the next morning for hours and did not see a thing, did not find anyone. Later that day, the ranch foreman called my coworker into his office, and there was another gentleman there that he didn't recognize, older gentleman, and the ranch foreman asked my coworker, "Describe this boy to me that you saw across the road the night before." And my coworker could describe him down to the color of his eyes. And as he described the boy, the other gentleman in the room, his face went white. And my coworker said, "What's the matter?" And the other gentleman said, "That was my son. And he was killed on the ranch in a horrible accident 35 years prior."
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I said and I was on the ranch that morning when they called out security and also the county sheriff. I mean, there were people scouring the woods and the fields looking for this boy. After my coworker heard that from the other gentleman in the room, he quit that day.
Yeah, that was my next question. What happened next?
Yeah. My coworker quit, and it turned out later that every so often, late at night, this boy had been spotted in various places on the ranch.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, that's true story.
That's a Class A story right there, Doug.
I kid you not, Jimmy. That's a true story.
Wow. You get 2 books.
Hey, Jimmy, I really enjoy your program. Listen to you every night.
Yeah, thank you so much. And you know what to do, okay? Just shoot me an email, jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. All of that is easy, but just include your phone number and your address. I need your phone number to make sure that it's you, because then there's going to be somebody else going, "Hey, man, this is Bob from Tennessee, and here's my address. But you know what? I need your phone number. But
yeah, Jimmy, I have not told that story to anybody.
Man, that is just awesome.
Yeah,
that's a scary one. You know,
it really shook the coworker up. Say he quit right on the spot.
Now, did it shake you up?
After I heard it, and this was a guy that you could. He was not a storyteller. It shook him up, and the people that he told it really had an effect on them.
Wow.
But he could describe this boy to the color of his eyes as he crossed the road in front of him in the dark.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, and I've got to get to these other great ghost stories here on hold, but the boy said, why is his father doing this to him, right?
Why did my dad do this to me?
Right. And so his dad is in the room. He gets this, and he quit. Did anybody ask him what he had done to his son?
Well, what had happened, the boy, about a 10-year-old boy, was on the tractor with his dad.
Right.
And some sort of accident where he had fallen off the tractor and then got run over.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the ranch is still operating to this day, and I have not driven that road since I've heard that story. I know exactly where it's at.
I know you haven't, but I'm gonna say this: Happy Halloween.
Hey, go Beckley Teppy.
Thank you so much, Doug, and enjoy the rest of your night. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Wow. Wow, that's what I'm talking about right there. That is what I'm talking about. See, it is simple. Bring the good stuff. Wow. I don't know what's going on up there, North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana. Wow. Absolutely incredible. And again, I'm putting calls on hold, so you guys just wait right there. And let's see who is up next. And 747-228-2051. As everybody can see, giving away a stack of books from the vault. They are right here behind me. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Oh, turn me down in the background. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hello, Jimmy.
Yes.
Joe from Staten Island. How are you?
Hey, Joe. What's your scary story?
Oh, I got a nice dude. You just had it a couple of days ago.
Oh, man. It's you're breaking up, Joe.
Okay, how's this? Is that better?
Okay. Well, let's hope so.
Okay. Excuse me. I frequent the park that's actually an Indian burial ground in Staten Island. There will not be Indians were buried there. You cannot even bring a shovel in the park. They were buried upright, actually facing the water. It's water on three sides. But be that as it may, it's a beautiful park, and in the morning, there's wonderful trails by the beach and in the woods near the beach. And it's just, people hang out there. I camp out there all day. I got nothing else to do being retired in my days, right?
Okay.
I take these nice walks, right? So I'm walking down the street. I'm in a very spiritual, contemplative kind of mood. Very intense things on my mind. So probably I was trying to work out and so on, right? So, I'm kind of into the zone, And I get to this one area. And, I don't know about energy callers, but sometimes I just feel like a real presence, I'm sure it's very common, right? Amongst us all, amongst us weirdos, right? So I'm seeing these trees like shaking. It's like, just remember the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Lion and the Scarecrow walked through that forest with the apple trees and the fruit is falling like one or two trees where I think it's just falling, But then more than that, I try to kind of overcome, like the fact they say that sometimes entities could like feed on you, for whatever reason, or kill you, the Ike thing and all that stuff, right? So, and this is common to me at times, too, not so rare, but I'll tell you this time. So I walk down a little game trail, right? Well, you could see the trails in the woods, I know the woods pretty well. Old Boy Scout, whatever. So I walked down this little trail. Not maybe a 10, 15 feet. It's like kind of the woods, kind of brushy stuff, bramble, you know? But I come to this one point, I see like a circle, right? Maybe like maybe a small teepee is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are these 3 holes in the ground, like a triangle, like a tripod. So me in my weirdness, I get right in the middle of the circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm into kind of freaky stuff, you know. So I just feel like this energy. Like I felt first of all that I was not unsafe, but that I was definitely being watched, and there's definitely a presence, a strong presence of the forest, or nature spirit, or whatever, you know. It's just, and then feeling like this thing is like next to me, like just like feeding off certain my energies, you know. But you see, that's not uncommon. The point is, like an encounter, you know. So what can I do? You can't. There's nowhere to run. Where are you gonna go, Jimmy? So I stood there and just had that like experience, you know. But always retaining myself, you know. I would never give up myself, if you know what I'm saying. Kind of similar to like the voodoo priest would, like you overcome them in their rituals and so on for a bit, you know. Kind of like that, but yet retaining them, their soul's identity, spirit, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, I had that encounter, and then I felt like when it was satisfied, you know, and I could leave, you know, I just like walked out. And as I'm walking down, it's an open trail, you know, pretty much like you probably put an ATV truck if you wanted to. But there's like woods, so there's this one tree in back of me, right? And all of a sudden this tree starts to shake. Now, it's not because of the wind, because none of the other trees were shaking around it. There's this small tree like shaking, and I could hear it and I could see it shaking. There's like fruit was falling off it, you know? It's just so wild. And I just kind of, hey, I said, okay, well, what can I say? I leave you in peace, and then I go in peace, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Did you? I would have run. Do you remember? And I've got to let you run, Joe. You know what to do. Shoot me an email to Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com with your address and your phone number in it, and I'll send you out a free book. But this is what your story reminds me of. That scene with the priest in The Omen, when he's running and the trees are just blowing and moving around him, and he knows he's being chased, and we all know about New Jersey and what goes on out there, Joe. So that's that's absolutely scary stuff. Shoot me an email, Joe. Let's take care of that, and happy Halloween.
Okay, that's Jimmy@jimmychurch.com.
JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Okay, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com.
Yep, that's right, Joe. And happy Halloween. Have a great night. I'm telling you, New Jersey's haunted. Everything about New Jersey is haunted. Make no mistake about it. Let's see who we have up next. And 747-228-2051. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Well, I'm from Indiana, and we've probably heard about 1,000 ghost stories, but I have to ask you one question.
What's that?
So I'm not talking ghosts. I'm talking about things that happen and you can't really see it. But do you remember a time at your house we took about 7 pictures?
Okay, who's this?
This is a friend of yours.
This is a friend of mine?
Yeah, I've known you for at least 2 years.
Okay, all right. And you were
So,
at
we were
my
at your
house.
parents' house.
We were at my
at your
parents'
house.
house. Okay.
Yes, while Justice was there.
Okay.
And we took at least 7 pictures. There was only 2 pictures we couldn't find, and we tore the house up. Where'd that picture go?
Well, that picture,
Nobody knows.
No, that picture surfaced about.
It did not surface.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want me to tell you the story?
Well, hold on a second.
Hold on.
And what about the time that you couldn't find your keys, and we knew we put them right there on the table?
Okay, come on, man. That happened 500 times. But let me tell you about the picture. Okay, so
I would love to hear it.
This is Jim McDaddy McCleister, everybody, calling from Indianapolis.
It's not.
And this is
Randy Smiley.
This is at my house, and my parents had left on for the weekend for a vacation, and we threw a party for 3 days. And hold on. So okay, and so we had a Polaroid camera, my parents' camera, that was loaded with film. And so we took a bunch of pictures. McCleister said it was 7. It might have been 10. The point is, we laid out all the pictures.
Pictures at 19 that you didn't want your parents to see.
Right. And so we laid out the pictures of the party. And we laid out the pictures on the dining room table, and we counted them.
We absolutely did.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're all there. And then, the next day, there's 9 pictures there instead of 10. It was like, where's the other picture? And we can't let my parents find this picture. And we had to clean the house. We had to fumigate the house. We had to get rid of the beer bottles. We had to do all of that stuff. But we never found the missing picture. Okay, so now my parents come home. They know what's up. They walked in the front door. It was just
but we were pretty good though.
We
were. We messed up a little bit.
But they knew we partied. So anyway, a year goes by, like a year and a half, and I come home, and out in front of our house is a moving van. And I'm like, what's going on? My parents moving out. What it was my parents.
And we're like, they're going to find that picture.
Hold on. It's my mom getting furniture delivered and having the old furniture pulled out of the house. And I walk in, and I go into the kitchen, and on the kitchen table is that picture. And I was like, what? And it is a picture that my mom still has to this day. And it is hold on.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Well, I've never had a chance to tell you the story. That was 40 years ago, man. So anyway, listen. The picture is of you and I. And,
I know what it is.
Well, hold on. And my mom goes,
you can't tell the rest.
No, hold on, Jim. She goes, I'm not going to show this to your dad. I said, oh, that's cool. All right. And she goes, it was underneath the love seat on the floor, and the movers picked up the love seat to take it out of the house, and I looked down and saw this picture underneath the love seat, and I picked it up, and she goes, I'm putting this away, and she took it like it was like blackmail, right?
Well,
and that's what happened. That's what happened.
And there's nothing wrong with it. This sounds so gay, but I've never sat in a love seat except for with my wife. It was on the big couch that we were sitting, okay?
Okay, I'm not even sure what you just said. Hey, Jim,
you have that picture.
My mom does. Yes, you can call her right now, and she'll tell you the whole story.
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now, because there was a long time that we're like, dude,
we're paranoid.
We picked up everything.
We picked up everything, all the cushions, everything.
Corner.
Yep, and it was underneath the love seat next to the grandfather clock. Right there,
upstairs. Dude. We picked that up.
I can only tell you.
That's what I'm talking about, ghosts. I'm not talking about you can see them. But what I'm saying is, there's those people that are, that we can't see, and they're like, yeah, okay.
Hey, Mac Daddy, I got to go to a commercial break.
I know you do, brother. I love you. And I'm sorry, what's your email address so you can send me a book?
Okay, man. I'll talk to you later. That's Jim. It's Jim McDaddy McCleister calling from Indianapolis. And that's a true story right there. That actually happened. That's a ghost story. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. 747-228-2051. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford.
with the Metal God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to GetTheT.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's GetTheT.com.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend. Let's face it, you've always wanted to do a sky watch and see your first UFO. Today, it's easy. Just get your own HP7 3B Cobalt Jimmy Church Edition night vision goggles from Hoffman's Optics. This is the same U.S. military system that I use, featuring a Generation 3 blue phosphor image tube. That's right, it's blue, not black and green. This is the only blue system in the world, and it's waterproof, lightweight, combat-proof, simple to use, and ready to go. Hoffman's Optics help create night vision sky watches, and now you can see what everyone has been talking about each night from your own backyard. Just call 760-231-9929. That's 760-231-9929. You can click on the banners on our site or visit UFONightVisionGoggles.com. That's UFONightVisionGoggles.com. Go back, Lee Tepe.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRARadio.com. Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code JIMMY at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code JIMMY. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Wednesday night's Fader Night. Halloween is coming up. This is our annual Fader Night where you call in with your ghost stories and we send you a book. That's all you got to do. You bring your ghost story. You get one of these books right here behind me that are from our vaults. And we've got to do this more often because these really accumulate throughout the year. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of books here. So giving those away tonight. So I've got lots of calls on hold. Let's just keep this going. You don't want to hear me yap. You want a ghost story. Who's going to scare us next? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good. Who's this?
This is Keith, a.k.a. The Bee's Nest in YouTube chat from Brownsville, Texas.
Right on, Keith. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you too, brother.
What time? What's going to scare us tonight from Brownsville?
Well, it's happened probably about 5 years ago. I'm a disabled veteran, so I got PTSD. What do you call it? Like panic attacks, panic disorder, all that stuff. So I see a psychiatrist from the VA. So they gave me this new medicine I'd never taken before. So I took it one night, and I'm sitting in my room, and I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and my then wife's car was kind of parked in the carport. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the car, and I'm completely lucid at this time. I mean, I don't feel drugged up. I don't feel anything. I'm completely lucid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of those people that I have to see something to believe it. So I'm standing there and I see like this kind of shadow sitting in her car. And I'm like, well, that's weird. It kind of looks like a ghost. And I swear to God, this shadow thing, it was all black, like translucent, but it was an old lady that floated out of the car, and like the detail was amazing. I mean, she looked like she was from the old Western period. She had the little bonnet on. She was like so close to my face that you could see like little, how some old ladies have like little hairs growing on their chin, like a beard or something. She had that, and then she had some kind of ornament in her hand. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to cuss, but I'm like, holy crap, this is true. I'm seeing a ghost. And so I try to communicate with her. I'm like, what is your name? Where are you from? And she was moving her mouth, but I could not hear nothing. So I was like so happy. I'm like, oh my God, this is true. Ghosts are real. So I went to the other side where my wife was, and I knocked on the door. I was like, you got to come out here. You got to see this. And she's like, what? I'm like, there is a ghost standing right there. And she's like, I don't believe it. I'm like, don't you see her? She's standing right there. And then the woman kind of just floated back to her car. For some reason, her car is like where they stayed. And then she's sitting on a chair at the porch, and I'm like on another chair. And then this other black figure came out. It was translucent black, and he was dressed like a cowboy. He had a cowboy hat on, like the typical Western cowboy, but he had a gun to his head. And I said, did you kill yourself? And he shook his head up and down like, yes. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I'm trying to communicate with these people, but, I could never hear anything back. They would move their mouth, but I never heard anything back from them. And my my poor wife was like freaking out. She's like, I don't see nothing. I'm like, you don't see them? They're right there in front of me. And I was completely lucid. And, they floated back to the car, and you know, she's like, Keith, she goes, they gave you new medicine tomorrow night. She said, tomorrow night, do not take the same medicine to see if it happens again. So the next night, I did not take the medicine, and it did not happen again. So I don't know if it was the medicine I took, but it looked like 100% real to me.
Wow, Keith, that's a great story, man. You got yourself a book for sure. You know, my only comment to that is it's kind of twofold. It's kind of cool that it didn't happen again, right?
Well, I'm not sure if it didn't happen or if it was the medicine.
Well, that's my point. But that's exactly my point, right? But you had, what the cool part is that you had the experience. You were able to see the details, and what is interesting here for me is that they were speaking, their mouths were moving, but you weren't hearing anything, but they were obviously hearing you. That's a great experience, man, and that's a great story.
They were trying to communicate with me. They were moving their mouth, but I didn't hear anything. But I mean, the detail, like on their clothes, was, I mean, spot on. And the drugs that I took were not even strong drugs, and it didn't make me feel like groggy. It didn't make me feel like I was cloud nine. I mean, I felt like a normal person.
Right.
And I still saw this, so I'm not sure if it was the drugs or if it really happened. But the next night when I didn't take it, it didn't happen. So I don't know.
Hey, Keith, shoot me an email, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Put your address in it so I can send you the book, and send me your phone number. Put your phone number in the email.
Jimmy at jimmychurch.com.
Jimmy Church Radio. Jimmy Church Radio. Keep listening to the show. You'll hear it about 10 more times tonight.
Okay.
Happy Halloween, Keith. Great story, man.
All right, Jimmy, I want to tell you, I love your show. I love everybody in chat. I'm going to give a shout out to Zinzabil, one of your moderators. He's my boy. But I love your show. And, I'll keep on listening. Go Beckley Teppy.
Happy Halloween, Keith. Thank you so much for that. Keith in Brownsville, Texas. Could be the medication. Could be, could not be. You know, what's interesting about what he just said there was that no high feeling. Didn't feel high. He felt normal. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Keith, shoot me that email. You'll get one of these books right here. Let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Church. My name is Lenny. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Hi,
and
Lenny.
I just want to tell you, hello. I just want to tell you it's an honor and a pleasure to finally get to speak to you.
Well, it's an honor. It's an honor to speak to you, Lenny.
Well, thank you. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can because I know that my time is limited. But not only is it a true ghost story about the haunted house we moved into, but it also has a head scratcher at the end, which in many ways was creepier than everything that happened in the house at the time.
I love it already.
Oh, great.
So what happened, Lenny? What happened?
Well, my ex-wife and I moved into a house in an adjoining town not long after, excuse me, my son was born. And it wasn't too long after we moved in. She worked third shift at the time, so she slept in the daytime, and then I would take my son to daycare and then go to work myself. Well, she would sleep in our bedroom, obviously, during the day, and she said that she could constantly felt something like sitting at the bottom of the bed, and it would like move up towards her. And at first I thought she was crazy, you know, because I mean, I wasn't, we're talking like late 90s at the time, so there was virtually no internet, there was no smartphones, there was certainly no ghost hunter shows on. until it started happening when I was in bed also. I could feel it felt like somebody sat at the bottom of the bed. So moving forward, her mother worked with a lady that was a Reiki healer. So she came with her group and they attempted to do a smudging, cleansing, exorcism, whatever, they want to call it. But the thing that they didn't realize was the night that they came to do it was on the night of a lunar eclipse.
Okay, what happened?
And I don't think I need to tell you that's a big no-no to do that on the night of a lunar eclipse.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, anyway, after that, the activity intensified tenfold. But after that was when it started going after my son, who was like 3 years old at the time.
Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut out a lot of that, but he would wake up screaming in the middle of the night, saying that there was something that he called fuzz at the bottom of the bed. Now, again, he was 3 years old, so you have to try to figure out what they're talking about. But I think what it was you know how you get that electrostatic feel, like the hairs on your neck stand up when... I think that's what it was, and he was feeling that because there was something in the room with him. So anyway, we had all sorts of stuff go on, from toys that were buried at the bottom of his toy box that had no batteries in it, all of a sudden would start talking. To now, this house that we moved into was over 100 years old, because we didn't have a lot of money since, we just had our son and everything. So we're not talking about 8-foot ceilings here, Mr. Church. We're talking at least 10, possibly 12-foot high ceilings. So when I was going down the steps to the main floor the one time, I happened to glance down the hallway into our bedroom. And I swear to you on everything I hold dear that something passed in front of that bedroom window, and it took a good solid 2 seconds for it to pass. So unless it was a pterodactyl or something, there is no bird that would take that long to cast that much of a shadow. And I mean, I certainly know what, trees blowing in the wind looks like and everything else. It most definitely was not that. I even, at the time, I was able to get in touch. I tried to contact the Warrens, but I guess they were too busy, and I never actually heard back from them. We did manage to get another Reiki exorcist from upstate New York to come down. And it seemed to get better, but it never completely went away. I can remember one time when we had like a little pantry off of our kitchen, and the sink was in there and the refrigerator was in there and stuff like that. So my wife had already gone to work, and I was drying the dishes, and I always felt like something was watching me in that house. No matter what time of day, it just varied in the degree of it. I happened to turn around and I saw this like black, it was like a tattered black, like how it's like shredded at the bottom, like your typical ghost. You know what I mean? It's like all ripped at the bottom and stuff. Something flew up the upstairs steps. And I mean, I'm not given to hallucinations, and like I said, I really wish I could give you a ton more details on this. But there was a constant tension between my wife and I, and we ended up eventually splitting up because of it. And I had moved out. My wife moved in with her parents, which is where we ended up staying actually, after a while, to sleep when on her days off, because she could not sleep there, and I certainly didn't want to be there by myself anymore.
Mm.
But before we split up, her sister happened to go and do, now this is where the head scratcher comes in. Her sister went to the local historical society, and she researched that address. And as it turns out, that house was originally built, dramatic pause, by my wife's great uncle, who had died in a mining accident. I don't know how familiar you are with Pennsylvania, but we've had literally hundreds of men that died in the mines.
Sure.
In Pennsylvania here.
Sure.
So yeah, we knew absolutely nothing about that house was actually built by one of her relatives.
What was the cliffhanger with your sister?
Well, no, that was it.
Okay.
The house was built by one of my wife's relations.
That's pretty. Okay. I didn't know that's not a cliffhanger. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Creepy. That's what I said. It's creepier than anything that ever happened. Oh, and I do have to tell you, please indulge me for a few more seconds here. I do want to tell you about what was up in the attic. Now, I never paid attention to it because we were moving in and we were putting junk up there that we weren't going to use immediately. But the first set of healers that came through said to me, "What's the deal with the crucifix in the attic?" And I'm like, "The what? Where?" And they said, "Yeah, there's a crucifix at the top of the stairs attached to one of the rafters that made the roof." Now, the attic was not completely finished. I'd say it was about maybe 3/4 of the way, had flooring, but the rest was just like open. So it obviously wasn't meant to be used as a living space up there. I highly doubt anyone was living up there.
Right.
But Mr. Church, I'm telling you, I swear again on everything I hold dear, that I could not for the life of me figure out how that crucifix was attached to that rafter. If I didn't know better, I'd say that the piece of wood that was used for that rafter was carved around the crucifix, and the rest of it was the rafter itself.
Right.
There were no nail holes. There were no screws. And I highly doubt it would have been super glue or something like that, because you could have tugged on that thing all day long, and it just would not budge.
Wow.
But,
Lenny,
but the weird thing is, as soon as you looked up the steps to the attic, it was like right there. Now, who would put, unless something was going on, who would put something at the very top of the steps that is the first thing you see when you start going up the steps?
That's incredible, Lenny.
Unless something was going on.
That's it. Well, you need to shoot me an email, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com, and include your address and your phone number so I know that it's you. And I'll send you out one of the books here from the pile from our vault. I
will do that.
That is that's nuts. That's a crazy.
Again,
that's
I
a crazy story.
could tell you. I could go on for another half hour and tell you if I told you everything that happened.
I know that you could.
And I feel bad that it may have sounded disjointed, but
no, it's not.
I did the best I could in the amount of time that I had.
Lenny, happy Halloween and enjoy
happy
the rest
Halloween
of your
to
week.
you too, sir.
Thank you so much.
You too, and I hope you enjoy yourself on the Queen Mary.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to. Happy Halloween, Lenny.
Happy Halloween, sir. Take care.
And that's a great phone call right there. Thank you for that, Lenny. It's funny that he mentioned the Warrens. That's exactly what that sounded like. The Conjuring House. Now, 747-228-2051 is the phone number. Lots of calls on hold. I will get to everybody after the break. Before we get there,
I want to remind you that last year, websites shared over 100 trillion pieces of personal data. Your data. This data is taken on users of various websites like the one that you are on right now. I don't like being spied on by advertisers, which is why I use Virtual Shield. Tons of tech platforms have stopped their COVID-19 relief discounts, but not Virtual Shield. No, Virtual Shield continues to offer its loyal customers a whopping 50% off of all plans for life. If you want to browse the internet anonymously and securely like I do, please visit virtualshield.com/fade to black or click on the link right now in the video description box below, and you will get Virtual Shield VPN for free today. Go and do it. I am your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. It is Wednesday night. It is Fader night. Your ghost stories. Share them with me, and I'll send you a book. More of your ghost stories when we come back after this short break. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. If you called in with a ghost story tonight, shoot me an email with your address and phone number so I can send you a book. I'll be right back with more of your ghost stories right after this short break. Stay with us.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at jimmychurchradio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Wednesday night, Fader Night. Happy Halloween. Your ghost stories. That's what we are doing tonight. Tell us your ghost story. Get a book from our vault. It is really that simple. I've got a lot of calls on hold, and I want to get everybody in tonight. And you don't really want to hear me yak. You want to hear a ghost story. Let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. 3, 2, 1. Wow, I hate to do this. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. Let's see who is up next. Going in order. Who's on hold the longest? And, oh, man, 29 minutes on hold. Let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jimmy Church. Good evening, my man. How are you?
Who's this?
This is Chris in Mansfield.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
I'm well. Rumor has it it's a ghost story night.
Yes, it is.
Correct?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Bring
Well,
it, man.
Well, I got a couple. I live in a pretty active house here in Mansfield, I guess you would say. Nothing bad, though. In fact, it brought me into this world of kind of the alternative. One night I was standing here in my kitchen, and my wife and one of my daughters were in the other room, and I was looking out. We were having a conversation, and I'm looking out the doorway, and all of a sudden, right across 10 feet away from me, a full-body apparition walked from one room to the next, just right in front of me. And, I mean, what do you say to that, right? Conversation kind of stopped, and my wife's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, yeah. Told her later what happened, and she just kind of smiled, which then led into another story that she had. She was reading to our twin daughters up in bed one night, putting them to sleep, and all of a sudden beside her was a male voice reading along beside her.
Say what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which, that was shortly after her father had died. Her father died the day after Christmas that year, and that was in the spring of that year. So, I don't know. She, never equated it to, but she'd like to think maybe. But yeah, she said there they were laying in bed, and she was just reading away, and all of a sudden, word for word beside her was this male voice out of nowhere.
Well, you live in a haunted house, and we hear, this is the thing. Story after story tonight, when we're telling ghost stories like this, everything is very similar, and you have to stop and ask yourself what is actually going on, right? People are seeing stuff. I've only had one, what I would classify as a ghost sighting, and I told the story last night on the air. I'm not going to do it again, but I have seen what I can only classify as an entity or a ghost or a spirit, and I know. So when I hear these stories, there's something going on. We've got to figure out what is going on, Chris. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this really quick. I've got lots of calls on hold. I want to get everybody in. Happy Halloween. Absolutely. Shoot me an email. You know what to do, Jimmy@JimmyChurchRadio.com. Include your phone number, and you're going to get one of these books right here from the vault. Happy Halloween, Chris.
You're awesome. Go back to happy, my man.
You too. Thank you so much. Happy Halloween. I'm being serious when I say there is something going on. And I love these stories, and all of that is great, but there is something going on out there. People are seeing things. People are seeing ghosts. People are seeing entities. There is something happening. Oh, man. Okay, let's see who is up next. And, wow, okay, that call is not picking up. And I am going to go straight here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Terry in Virginia.
Terry?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Late at night right now.
Yeah, right on. Perfect time for ghost stories.
Oh, yeah. I've got one for you. I'm a paranormal investigator, also a Civil War reenactor.
Oh, right on. Perfect.
And we were doing, it was in October, and we were doing a battle called the Battle of Cedar Creek.
Right.
And during the day, Fridays we set up, and some things are quiet on Fridays, and the next day is when we do the battles, and it's probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that usually on that battlefield, it shakes things up at night. So it was probably about 11:30 at night, and I was in my tent, and I guess sometimes you got to go about, to the porta-john, that's what they used to call it, about 100 yards up the road. And a guy named Cookie, he was sitting at the fire, kind of watching it that night, and I told him I'd watch it, I'll be back in a little while. So on the way back, this tall guy, he was kind of thin. He was wearing a thin jacket. He was in civilian clothes. He was wearing a thin jacket, vest, also, and boots, and one of those little top hats like Lincoln wore, but
right.
It was a little bit shorter than his. And on the way back, I was on one side of the dirt road, and he was on the other side of the dirt road. And I saw him he was about 20 yards away when I saw him. And I would look over at him every now and then, and he just kept on looking down at the road, not paying attention to me coming. Usually when you see somebody, you always look to see if they, didn't notice you going up the road.
Yeah, and acknowledge each other.
Yeah. And as soon as he passed me, he didn't have any expression on his face at all. And I looked back, and he was still walking on up the road. And he looked like me and you, it's like a real person. You couldn't see through him or anything. But I got back in the camp, and I was going to sit on the other side of Cookie, who was, at the fire. I was going to say, I got something to tell you. He said, don't say anything. I got something to tell you. That gentleman came in. I guess it was from the west to the east. He came in from the east into a camping area where the tents are. He sat down at the fire right across from Cookie. And he didn't look at Cookie, he looked at the fire. He sat there for about, 30 seconds. And then, he had no expression on his face at all. That's what Cookie said. Then he got up and went between the tents. The tents don't have but about an inch, between each of the tents. And he went between there and turned, and he was going up which way I was coming back. And Cookie went right around there. He disappeared. He was gone. And I presume he probably appeared on the way up towards where I was.
Right.
After he got up the road a little bit. So, but that was my ghost story. But I got
holy crap! That's a great Terry. That's a great ghost story, man. And see, you know what I enjoyed about that. Before I let you go, is if you're doing a reenactment like that, and you see some Civil War dude walking up the street or somebody, and somebody you don't know if they are. You assume that they are part of the reenactment, right?
Yeah.
You don't know a ghost from right, and with your situation, because Cookie saw him disappear, then he jumps over to where you are on the street. on the road. So you guys, saw the same guy, but he didn't acknowledge you guys, right? He looked at the fire, or with you, he was looking down at the road. He may not have even seen you. He may not have even seen Cookie. He's in another dimension. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
they got a plantation house right beside. We think that's where he came from because the plantation house, about a mile away from us, on the same battlefield. But
oh, that place is loaded with spirits. I mean, they're just everywhere. That's a great story, Terry. You know what to do. First off, happy Halloween. Shoot me an email to Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com with your address and with your phone number in that email. So I know that it's you. I've got a call log right here in front of me, and then we'll send you one of these books from the vault. Thank you so much, Terry.
Okay.
Happy Halloween, my man.
Thank you, Jimmy. You too, and go back to the capital.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Halloween. Good stuff right there. That's class A ghost sighting stuff right there. And the thing is, doing the Civil War reenactments, and I've thought about this so much. You don't know. You don't know. How do you know if there is a Civil War ghost, hanging out? How do you know the difference between that and somebody that is part of the reenactment? You don't know the difference. You don't. And those battlefields are loaded. And so you're showing up with all of your friends to do the reenactment. You're activating all kinds of stuff. That's a great story right there, Terry. Thank you for the phone call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Nick from Montana.
Hi, Nick from Montana. How are you?
Doing all right.
It's Halloween, man. You guys ready?
Oh, totally. We got tons of snow on the ground, and it's freezing cold.
That's what I'm talking about. What do you got for us tonight, Nick?
Okay, so I've had a whole bunch of weird stuff happen to me in my life, so just want to put that out there to explain how my reaction is before we get there. So I was downstairs in my basement, and I'm doing laundry. All of a sudden, I come upstairs, and it's dark because I normally don't have any lights on. And I go around the corner to come into my living room area, and I have the old type of doors that slide in and out of the actual wall itself, and the door was closed. I never touched those things. So I was like, okay, that's weird. Whatever. So I go around kitchen, go inside the living room, turn on the light to go see what was wrong with my door. Take a look at the door. Door's wide open. I'm like, okay, that's just not cool. So I put down my clothes and I called my girlfriend. I'm like, all right, beautiful. You're not going to believe what just happened.
And? Oh, did we lose Nick? I think we lost Nick in Montana. Ah, Nick. Yeah, that call dropped. That was important. Nick, we were right there with you, man. We were right there with you. All right, I've got your phone number right here, Nick. If you call back, I'll try to get you in before the end of the show. And that's a bummer right there. And I'll see if I can squeeze you back in before we get there. And let's go here next. And wow, I've got calls on hold tonight that thank you, people, for all of you for hanging in there. This one is 42 minutes on hold and is not picking up. That's unfortunate. Let's go here next. Fade to Black. FADERNIGHT, your ghost stories. All you got to do is bring me your ghost story. You're going to get one of these books. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
Great to speak to you. This is Joe.
Hey, Joe. Where are you calling from?
Eagle Mountain, Texas.
From Texas. Happy
Yes,
Halloween, man. What do you have for us tonight, Joe?
I've got a spooky story. This is probably the strangest thing that's ever happened to me.
Right on.
It it's short. It didn't happen very long. But I will give you just a tiny bit of a preface here. I was watching a documentary on Steve-O. I'm sure you're familiar with Steve-O from Jackass. He was doing a lot of nitrous oxide at the time, and he talked about how he would see people walk through his walls, and he believed that there was some barrier that nitrous would make. He would thin the veil between our world and another world. Anyways, the only reason I say that, I was happened to do a little bit of nitrous this night, lay down in my bed, and I slumped over on the floor next to my bed, and I look over at the device you use to inhale the nitrous. It's a whipped cream dispenser.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about 6 to 8 inches. It's within arm's reach of me. And I notice, and my room's pitch black, there's no lights on. I notice the bottle start to move towards me. Not roll. It's moving towards me. I put my hand down in front of it just so I could sort of gauge the distance, and I see the gap close. It's moving slowly. It gets closer. It hits my hand. I feel the pressure of whatever is moving this bottle. I feel the resistance. So something is moving this bottle towards me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I lift up the bottle. I move it about 6 inches away from me just to test it. And sure enough, it starts sliding towards me again. I could not explain it. It scared the hell out of me. I immediately got up and.
What do you think it was? Do you think you opened up a portal, and you invited something in?
Jimmy, it's the only. I can't explain it. The only possible thing I could think is that there was some sort of spirit here, letting me know it was here. I've never experienced anything paranormal, and this is the closest thing I could call paranormal. But it happened right in front of my face. It happened once. I moved the bottle away from me, and it did it again. It started sliding towards me again. And like I said, I felt it once the gap closed and it hit my finger. I felt the pressure. I felt whatever was propelling this bottle, and it wasn't rolling. It just was sliding down my carpet. So it was very, very strange.
Yeah, that is a paranormal story, Joe. And happy Halloween. That's crazy. Hopefully you're not doing nitrous anymore, but shoot me an email. Shoot me an email.
No, sir.
Yeah, shoot me an email to Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Throw your phone number in there so I know it's you, and I'll send you one of these books from our vault, Joe. Happy Halloween, my man.
Thanks, Jimmy. Great speaking with you.
It's great. Yeah, it's great speaking with you. That's a great phone call. And Joe from Montana, and this has been the Great North show tonight. North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, and I think we have Nick back. Nick, are you there?
Hello.
Oh, this isn't Nick. Okay, who's this?
Oh, this is Madeline from New Jersey.
Hi,
Good
Madeline.
evening.
How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I wasn't sure if I was going to get through. I kept getting disconnected.
Oh, the phones
I
have
my
been.
story was just too scary.
It probably is. The phones have been insane tonight. Absolutely insane. So, Madeline, what have you got for us?
Okay, this is a true story. It's not my story. This happened to a friend of mine. It was November around 2012, and she's at her boyfriend's house, and they sleep in the basement. And already it's scary because they're in the basement, right? Hello?
Yes. It's already scary. It's already
right.
scary. I'm already
so
scared.
They're in the basement sleeping.
Right.
And the lights would randomly turn on and off. And then one night when they're sleeping, her boyfriend wakes up and he's yelling, And he's like, I feel a scratch. Can you look and see? So she looks and she sees a scratch on his back. And she's like, did you scratch yourself? He's like, no. All right. So they're a little freaked, but they go back to bed. And then a little bit later, he wakes up again and he's screaming. And he's like, I got a scratch again. And he says, this time it was like really hurt. It felt worse. So she looks and like, sure enough, there's this big scratch down his back. And it's a thick, fresh scratch right next to the first one. So it was in a spot where he couldn't scratch it. It was at an angle, so he couldn't do it himself because she thought, oh, he did it himself. But they were both tight asleep. So after that, they went upstairs and they just slept upstairs, but they couldn't get to sleep. So they were just so freaked out. So the next day, he went to see a priest because this was his house. And the priest came to the house and he blessed the house and he did things to get rid of the demon. And he also blessed her boyfriend. And she said he did something to the mirrors. I don't know what that was. But after that, everything went back to normal. The lights didn't flicker anymore, and there was no more scratches. But she did say they had recently visited Sleepy Hollow. So the priest believed that they brought a demon home with them from Sleepy Hollow because these things only happened right after they had visited Sleepy Hollow.
Things are serious when you bring in a priest.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know what it would be like over at our house if I had to turn to Rita and go, it's time for a priest. Right? What level are you at where you've got to call a priest?
Well, at least it worked. I mean,
yeah.
Hadn't gone on for a long time, and it stopped. But that's I don't think I would go back in the house. I was
man.
just scared. That was my friend Kimberly. She's my best friend, and she's showing me share this story tonight.
There is I have a little. I've got to run, but Sleepy Hollow, that scene with the Headless Horseman, the Johnny Depp movie, right? Coming.
My favorite, yes, one of my favorites.
My daughter Nicole would lose her mind. She was like 5 years old. She would bounce off the walls. I'm talking and I couldn't. She would shake, and oh man, yeah. Madeline, thank you so much.
My boyfriend and I are going to be watching you tonight on Friday night, ghost hunting on the Queen Mary, and I want to say happy Halloween to the Faders.
Happy Halloween, Madeline, and we'll see you Friday on the Queen Mary. Happy Halloween!
I can't wait. Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween! That's a great phone call. I'm serious about this too. If you have to bring in a priest, that is a bad situation. There is no other way to put it. I don't have enough time. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to try to squeeze in one more phone call, but it's got to be quick. It's got to be a quick ghost story to get that book. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, how's it going, Jimmy? Thanks for taking my call. This is Frank from Chicago.
Hey, Frank.
And hey, how's it going? And my creepy story has to do with sleep paralysis. And what makes this experience different from the other ones I've had growing up, well, before I get into that, I'd just like to say, if you were to Google sleep paralysis, you're going to get every explanation and every reason that whoever makes these reasons or research up to almost like debunk sleep paralysis to make it like a very natural occurrence.
I agree. I agree, Frank. But listen, I only have 1 minute before the end of the show. So what happened?
Well, on this particular night, when I was going through this event, I decided to actually fight it instead of being terrified like I usually would be any other time. And what I mean by that is that when I was going through this experience, I was telling my body to get up, to wake up, kick my legs, move my fingers, open my eyes, do whatever I could to get this weight off my chest. And as I did that, I finally broke free from this feeling. I was released from the weight of these chains on me. And the moment that happened, as I got up, all I heard was a whisper fading away. And that whisper said, shh. And that's all I heard.
That's what I'm talking.
The moment I snapped out of it. And that was my creepy story, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, and shoot me an email, Frank, with your phone number in it and your address, and we'll send you. Yeah, happy Halloween. That's a great phone. Sleep paralysis is real. I mean, and it's not only the sleep paralysis aspect of it, but it's always what is going on right before and right after, right? When you start to wake up out of your sleep and you're in the middle of this. That's a fact. That's a fact. So many sleep paralysis stories. Thank you for the phone call, Frank. And Frank from Chicago. Now, before I let you go, right, what I want you to do is that I want you to click on the link right now in the description box below here on YouTube. It's right there for Virtual Shield, right? Because if you want to browse the internet securely and anonymously like I do, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 computers here, all with Virtual Shield VPN. So it's really simple. And the discounts are 50% for life, right? So go now. Please visit virtualshield.com/fade to black. Click on the link below in the description box. We have a banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. You can click on that too as well and go and get Virtual Shield VPN free today, right now. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What a great show tonight with all of your ghost stories. A lot of, oh, by the way, I checked my email, and virtually everybody sent me their email like they were supposed to. That's cool. We'll get these books out right away. And I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night, right here, is our 7th annual Shaw Halloween special event with Shaw the Loon Witch. It's going to be back-to-back-to-back phone calls tomorrow night. Your readings live on the air. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2020 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Until tomorrow night with Shaw the Loon Witch, be safe. Happy Halloween.